Today we're covering a case out of Ohio involving a school counselor who abused her position of trust. This is the case of Emily Nutley, a former school employee who ended up in court and was sentenced to prison for sexual crimes involving a student. Emily Nutley was a 43-year-old school counselor and academic support supervisor at St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is a private Catholic high school. Her role was to help students who needed extra guidance and support. Parents trusted her to look out for their kids, but instead, prosecutors say she crossed a line that should never be crossed. According to court records, Nutley began communicating with a 17-year-old male student who was assigned to her through her job. What started as conversation slowly became inappropriate. Prosecutors say Nutley sent the student explicit messages and nude photos, and over time, the relationship turned sexual. Some of these encounters reportedly happened on school property, including inside her office after school hours. Concerns were eventually raised, and the school started an internal review. Law enforcement was then contacted. Detectives reviewed messages, photos, and statements connected to the case. Nutley was charged with multiple felony counts of sexual battery. Instead of going to trial, she pleaded guilty to 2 felony charges, accepting responsibility for what happened. In June 2025, Emily Nutley appeared in court for sentencing. The judge sentenced her to 3 years in prison, followed by 5 years of probation. She was also ordered to register as a Tier 3 sex offender, the highest level, for the rest of her life. After the sentence was read, Nutley was taken into custody in the courtroom. During sentencing, a statement was read describing the emotional impact the relationship had on the student. The judge made it clear that this case was about abuse of power and trust, and that actions like this cause long-term harm. This case is a reminder that authority comes with responsibility, and when that trust is broken, the consequences are permanent.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I stand before you today overwhelmed with shame, guilt, and regret. There is no excuse for what I did, and I will not try to offer one. I crossed a boundary that never should have been crossed, and I violated the trust of someone who needed to be protected and respected. I live every day with the heavy burden of knowing that I caused that harm. I see clearly now that the way that I acted was clearly out of line, not only with the law, but with the basic human decency that I've lived my whole life trying to live by. I carry that truth with me constantly, and it makes me sick. I think every day about the impact of my actions, not just on the victim, but on his family, his friends, and the entire St. X community. In addition to losing my job, the license to do what I love, and being registered as a lifelong sex offender, I've lost my husband, my home, my family, my friends, and my reputation in the community that I love. I'm a mother of 3 children, and I have to look at them knowing that I've failed them in the most serious way imaginable. Instead of being viewed as their role model, I have caused harm and embarrassment. I will never stop feeling the weight of that and will spend every day to attempt to rebuild those relationships. I'm asking for the opportunity to prove myself on probation where I can continue rehabilitation instead of incarceration. I do not take that lightly, and the lifelong consequences of my actions are felt every day. I will continue my 2-year treatment program that I'm already an active participant, and I'm committed to take every step required of me to serve our community. Not because it's mandated, but because I owe it to the court, to the person that I've hurt, and to myself. I'm engaging with professionals who are helping me understand why I made these choices and how to take responsibility for every part of them. I wish more than anything I could go back in time and undo the choices I made and the boundaries that I allowed to be violated. I always got everyone else the help that they needed, but failed to look in the mirror when I was at my own lowest point. I wish that I'd asked for help sooner. I'm not asking for forgiveness because I've not earned it. I know that people may just see me as my worst mistake, and maybe that's what I deserve. But I will spend the rest of my life trying to make amends through my actions. Thank you, Your Honor.
She's the high school teacher fired after she was accused of having sex with a 17-year-old student. And despite her telling the court there was no excuse for her actions, she got an earful from the judge.
A disgraced high school teacher apologizes in court.
There is no excuse for what I did, and I will not try to offer one.
Emily Nutley pleaded guilty after having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student. The 43-year-old teacher groomed the teen by sending him nude photos and raunchy text messages. They had sexual encounters in her office and in a park.
I crossed a boundary that never should have been crossed, and I violated the trust of someone who needed to be protected and respected.
The married mother of 3 ran a program for at-risk youth at a prestigious all-boys Catholic school in Cincinnati. Authorities say she paid for his pickleball membership, gave him her Netflix password, and paid him an allowance of $100 per month. The prosecutor read a letter from her victim.
I really did not want to have sex with her, but she insisted. She would not leave me alone. She told me she would kill herself when I tried to end it.
Nutley looked startled when the judge lashed out at her for not showing enough remorse.
What I was looking for was for you to say that you acknowledge the harm and pretty much ruined the rest of his high school career. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it.
Look at her wince.
Emily Nutley was sentenced to 3 years in jail right after she was charged her husband filed for divorce.